Om Namo Bhagavate
Vasudevaya,
Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Vasudevaya,
Om Namo Bhagavate
Vasudevaya,
Vasudevaya. Om Agyantimidam Dasya Gananjana Sharakaya Chakshu Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupam Kadamayam Dadati Padantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Kamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavam Sa Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Samjiva Sadvetam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita
Sahagana Lalita,
Vishakam
Shri Vishaka,
Namaskar
Namaskar,
He Krishna Karuna Sindhu
Sindhu,
Dinamodam Gopal Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta
Radha
Namostate
Kanta Namaste,
Sapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Shamanusate Devi Panamami
Pranamyami Harike,
Vanchakapa Taruga Shakripa Sinjve Vesha
Kripa Sindhu
Vaishana Bhavanidyo Vaishnavyo
Patitana Bhavaniyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namah. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu
Nityananda
Nityananda Shri
Shri
Advaita
Advaita Gadada
Gadadara
Shivasati
Shri
Gaur Bhakta Vrinda
Gaura
Hare Krishna Hare
Krishna
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 Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Hare Hare
Krishna Hare Hare
Hare Rama Ram Ram
Rama Rama Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare. So when did you get off the train? I mean, in terms of get off the study of the Srimad Bhagavatam, so I can try to trace down where you stopped at. Where did you stop?
Oh, when did I start? I think I started the last year, like from 1:12 somewhere there.
Okay, 1:12. So you were quite oh, you started in the 12th chapter.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay. But my question was before we I went to India, where did we stop at so I can see how far you missed?
Oh, okay. I didn't do the March 12th one, was 256, like the last one that you did. We did the last one we were doing was February 24, 2422. We did that.
Oh, you were in the 4th
And,
chapter. Oh, I see.
okay. And then we did 24 up to, yeah, up to 2422. I think we finished that. But then I saw your tape on March 12th of 256 to 212.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so I wrote some notes on that one, 256 to 12
Yeah.
on March 12th. I
So
think that the Moshekar Prabhu was here with you.
yeah. So let's do some recap. So this is the 5th chapter, the cause of all causes.
Yeah.
So what's happening here?
Okay, in the 5th chapter, from the 6th verse that you guys were doing, that there was when it was all when Narad is asking Brahma, his father, he was making sure, like he thought that he was a god, right? And then Brahma said, yes, you are not the only one that thinks like that, because of the creation that he saw what his father was doing. So he was explaining his son that no. Then I think Narad saw Brahma meditating on somebody, and he was so much in doubt to say, if my father is a god, then why is he meditating on who? So then he asked his father, and then his father explained very nicely that there's a supreme being above me, the supreme personality of Godhead that he was meditating on. So he explains him everything. And then he also explains him about the spiritual master, and don't do like Narad Muni, because Narad Muni just thought his father was a spiritual was a spiritual master and he's God. So never think like that. And respect a spiritual master like God, but not God. And then Narad Muni had doubts aroused when he saw his father was meditating on someone, and Brahma's meditation was on the superior authority. And then you explain about anthropomorphism, right? Anthropomorphism. And that
Yeah,
was like when somebody,
anthropomorphisms. It's when you
yeah,
deify God, when you
when they
deify man,
they
sorry,
think I'm the God, right?
you deify man as God.
Yeah, man as God. And then
The,
you
the
explain
Egyptians
of,
do that.
yeah, and you explain on Bhagavad Gita 9:15, um, to compare that, and if it was false concept of anthropomorphism, it's false by worshipping you,
Mm.
and nobody can become a god, right? It's a false concept. You can, yeah, you can become godly, but you cannot become God.
Yeah. So let me
And
fill in, because obviously you were, it's my duty to make sure you reconnect. So basically from chapter 5, 6, 7, 8, I believe it's called Brahma Narad Samvad. There's going to be a big exchange between father and son.
yes,
And we should remember 252, sorry. 252, 253, 254. Narad is coming up with 6 questions, which are extremely important. And of course, to facilitate your learning, I'm going to put them on the screen for you. Let's see. Oh, no. Beginning of the second, I want to find the beginning of the second canto. There's a nice chart. No, it's not here. I have to find the beginning of the canto. Can you see my screen?
yeah, I can see your screen, Prabhu.
Yeah, this is what it is. Okay.
Yeah.
So see, this is very important. Those 6 questions, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They are asking basically 2, 5. No, sorry, this is the 8th chapter. Yeah, they are here, sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 6 questions. The first one appears in 252. What Yat Rupam? So Rupam means form. So the son Narad wants to know, Yat Rupam, tell me about the Rup of the universe, the characteristics. Of course, prior to that, I think it behoves me to remind you that this tale of Brahma Narad Samvad is told by Shukdev to Maharaj Parikshit, because he himself, Maharaj Parikshit, had asked very lofty questions also in the beginning of the 4th chapter. And upon hearing those questions, his Guru Shukdev, he deemed appropriate to take shelter of the Lord before answering, because the questions were so lofty. And then what he did, Shukdev told him, look, in order to answer your questions, I'm going to tell you a story, because Narad asked the same type of questions to his father. So in other words, by hearing the questions of Brahma to Narad, we are also hearing the answers from Shukdev to Maharaj Parikshit. And there's 2 sets of questions. One set is asked by Maharaj Parikshit, beginning of the 4th chapter. And the second set, which are similar questions, they are asked by Narad to his father Brahma. So the first one is Yat Rupam. And the answer will be, today we're going to cover
Hmm.
514.
Okay.
What is the universe made of? Made up? Karma, Kal, Svabhav, Jeev.
Jiva, yeah, okay. Karma,
First one
Jiva.
is the elements, which is called in Sanskrit, you call that, sorry, I'm still sick from my Apo a little bit. Dravyam,
Alright.
yeah, you know the Panchamahabhut. So this is the first part, Dravyam, Karma, Kal, Svabhav, and Jeev. Then in 2512 again, Narad is asking Yad Adishtanam. He wants to know Yad Adishtanam. It means, tell me about the Adishtanam, the background of this universe. Who is the shelter of the background of this universe? So then Brahma will answer. He's going to quote 2, 5, 15, and 16.
Okay.
And of course, there's another verse coming up in the next chapter, 2, 6, 31. Basically, he's going to tell his son, the shelter is in the Lord Narayan. And then back to 252, Yata Shrishtam. That's another question of Narad. Yata Shrishtam, it means, who is the creator? So answer is there, 2521 up to 2535.
Okay.
What is the answer? The answer is these elements, which are called Dravyam here in 14, they are amalgamated. They are bound up together by the Lord. And he binds them up together, and then he enters himself the universe. So back to Nara's questions in 252. Another question is Yat Cha. Tell me about the ingredients. So we will learn that in the next chapter, 261, 18 to 18. Lord is not only is called Upadan, is the effective cause, and is also the material cause.
Yes.
So that is the answer. There's two parts to the answer, 261 to 2618, and also 2623 to 30. So in other words, Brahma doesn't hide his game. He doesn't pretend, yes, I'm God. No, he's going to tell his son, this is what we discussed together. You were not there. If you look at 2512, see, Brahma is very clear. I offer my obeisances and meditate upon Lord Krishna Vasudeva, the personality of Godhead, whose invisible potency influences them, the less intelligent class, to call me the supreme. So, in other words, he's saying, those who are foolish think that I am the supreme. Okay? And then back to the question of Narad, you will see there's 6 questions. He's asking, Yat Samstam, what happened at the time of destruction? Then the answer will be coming up in this next chapter. It's going to merge again. Everything is called Nirodha, will be merging into the abdomen of Mahavishnu. And then final question, Yat Param, what does it depend on? This universe, what does it depend on? So the answer is beginning of the 5th chapter.
Hmm.
It depends on the Lord. And it gives a beautiful analogy, 253. It's like if you hold within your grip a walnut. In the same way, this universe is held like a walnut. And it gives all kinds of examples also. The spider. Unarnabir. Unarnabir means spider in Sanskrit. So just like a spider will deploy its web
Hmm.
to catch insects, but when comes the time around, spider can retract the web. So in the same way, my dear Father Brahma, you don't need anyone else to create. You can do it yourself by your own energy. Parasya Shakti Vivideva Shruyate. You don't have to resort to someone else. So the answer, what does it depend on? Yet Param is, of course, it depends on Lord Narayan. This is the point. So now we're going to resume from 13, 2513. And this is very interesting. You can read out 2513.
Okay, 2512. 2513 is here. Okay. Okay. The illusory energy of the Lord.
I see, perhaps I should read. Sorry, I forgot to read the Sanskrit. Yeah.
Okay.
Vilajamanaya yasya statum mikshapate muya vimohita vikatante mamahamiti dudiyaha.
Okay. The illusory energy of the Lord cannot take precedence, being ashamed of a position, but those who are bewildered by her always talk nonsense, being absorbed in the thoughts of it is I and it is mine. So here, like like we always think about I, my, or me, or mine. So this is just a illusory activity, right? And therefore, we do not accept the God, right? We have the false perception of the Lord because everybody wants to be the God themselves.
Yeah. So, first of all, 2513 is the answer to one of Nara's questions in 252. I don't know if you remember. I just shared it with you. See, it says very clearly here. Very, very clearly it says, see, the symptom of the material world. What are the symptoms of the material world to the humans? Well, the answer is 13. How do we perceive the material world? 13. What is the symptom that we are in the material world? Because we are absorbed in thoughts of I and mine. So this is the problem. Everyone is identifying with the body here. Do you know anyone who doesn't belong, who doesn't identify to I or to my or to me? Everyone has been afflicted by the same disease. You follow?
Yes.
So this is the symptom. No one can say the very fact that you are identifying with you, your belonging, your skin, your gender. This is the very evidence that you are in Maya. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. As simple as that. Someone, it's just like if you visit an asylum, everyone is going to say, no, I'm not sick.
Yeah.
And you're going to tell him, yes, I know you're not sick, you're okay. But actually, the very place itself is an asylum. It's called asylum. Everyone is sick. Everyone is mad. So the very fact that we identify to Ahankar, Aham Mameti, see, did you notice the Sanskrit in 13? Mamaham. What's the meaning of Mamaham?
Mama hum. That's
See? I and mine.
Mama hum. It is mine. I am everything.
So this is the symptom of the disease. This is a symptom. Unless you are pure devotee, Prabhupada will never say, this is my dhoti, this is my temple. No, because he's not afflicted by this. But everyone else is afflicted. So this is the state of affair. The symptom of this material world to the humans, how do we know about the presence of the illusory energy? It's very simple. The symptoms of the illusory energy is I and mine. Because in the spiritual world, they don't have this symptom, this disease. They don't have it. And number two, sorry, I'm still sick I got sick in my apple, it's still there. So I just want to share with you this powerful Acharya Jiva Goswami. You will see what he says is in the 16th century. He was struck with wonder, even at that time, he was struck with wonder with that verse. See, this is what he says. This is Jiva Goswami. In this verse, Brahma explained that because the material energy, Maya, is composed of the three modes, we know, she is contaminated. See? Jiva Goswami is very heavy. He said even Maya is contaminated. She's full of faults. But Krishna is spiritual. Krishna, we know, Sachitananda Vigraha, to the highest. Krishna is flawless. So, in other words, Maya is ashamed. Look at the Sanskrit of 13. Virajamanaya. Virajamanaya means ashamed. Just like when you are in the presence of a very great personality, you feel ashamed a little bit if you're very close to them. If you ask devotees who met Srila Prabhupada, they will tell you they felt ashamed. Why? Because they felt dirty. When you are in the presence of very high personality, especially spiritual personality, you feel ashamed, embarrassed. So we discussed way back 16174. Bhakti Yogena Manasi Samyak Pranite Male Apashyat Purusham Purnam Mayam Shadara Pashrayam. This is Sutta Goswami. He's saying, right after Narad left, Vyasadeva steeped in full maturity, he sat and fixed in transcendental meditation. He Apashyat Purusham Purnam. Apashyat means he saw Krishna. Purusham Purnam, this is Krishna, the Supreme Personality. He saw him, and behind he saw Maya. And Maya was ashamed. She's very ashamed. She's saying, why is she ashamed? Do you have any clue? Why Maya is ashamed in front of Krishna?
true. because probably Maya wants to own everything.
Yeah, but there's more to it.
Oh, the sense of the supreme that they will not talk to us. It is fine. Unfortunately, the God is survived. They will all the ideas.
See, because Maya, which is contaminated, is embarrassed to come within the energy of the Lord. And she's embarrassed to come within the vision of the Supreme. She feels ashamed. You know, she feels, because of me, I'm depriving the living entity of Krishna consciousness, basically, even though that is his legitimate right to be Krishna conscious. But Maya is depriving us from that alternative. So that's very nasty on her part. You know, let's say your father is a billionaire, and I've convinced you, no, you are very poor, Purnachandra. I don't disclose to you the wealth of your father. And I tell you, no, you are extremely poor. And I keep on maintaining this fear in you, this doubt that you are very poor. And let's say your father is there, and I keep on maintaining you. I keep on pretending to you that, yes, you are very poor, you are fatherless.
Hmm.
And if I'm there as a father, you feel very embarrassed to talk to me in such a way, isn't it?
Yes.
So this is exactly what happened. So then we could wonder, why is she doing that? She's maintaining the jiva in illusion, thinking you are poor, you are alone, you are like an orphan. She doesn't remind him about Krishna. So it's an embarrassing situation. And on top of that, she's in very close proximity with the Lord. So you can see 13. Maya bewilders, vimohita, it's mentioned. Look at the Sanskrit. Vimohita means to bewilder. Not only you, even Brahma. We discussed in 111. Tena muyanti surayaha, even the demigods are in illusion. You follow? She
Yes.
doesn't only bewilder you and me, everyone. So that's why she's embarrassed. It's a very ungrateful task that she has. She has to maintain the status quo that we are separated from Krishna, which is not true. It's a lie. She has been lying to us. But then the problem is, the real question is, why did we believe her also? That's our fault. You follow?
Yes.
If someone tries to cheat you, that's his faulty, okay. But if you accept him, you're also faulty. You follow?
Yes.
If you don't accept him, you're right. But if you accept him foolishly, you accept a cheat, then you're also guilty. So you cannot say it's only the fault of Maya. Why did you accept her? It works both ways. You understand? It's a very
Yes.
deep point, huh? Extremely deep point. This is a very deep verse, huh? 13. Extremely deep. See, because it's mentioned, look at the Sanskrit. It says, because see, Krishna
is not in Maya. He doesn't, he's not evolving in the energy of Maya. His energy is Chit Shakti, which is the energy of Lakshmi, Shri. So we cannot compare Lakshmi and Maya. Lakshmi is Chit Shakti. Ultimately, the real Lakshmi, original Lakshmi, is Srimati Radharani. She's Chit Shakti Swarupini. She's the embodiment of the internal energy. So you follow, that's another reason why Mahamaya is ashamed of herself, because she's standing in the presence of Krishna and Radha. You follow? So it's very embarrassing for her. Just like you have a big sister and you are not you're not very pure yourself, but you have your sister is very pure, very senior to you, extremely endowed with all great qualities. But unfortunately, you don't consider yourself very pure, and when you are in her presence, you feel a bit uneasy. So this is exactly what happens actually. You follow?
Yes.
So this is very interesting verse. And this is the answer. This is the answer. Remember? Look, the answer was, the question was, basically this is the answer of Brahma. He has started answering in 12, 13, and he's answering to the question of Narad. Narad is under the impression that, oh, you are God. So Brahma told him, in one sense, what you're saying is not wrong, my dear boy. Because everyone else, not only you, by observing my powerful activities, everyone will conclude that I'm God. Everyone. Unless you are Krishna conscious. But if you're not Krishna conscious, everyone will conclude Brahma is God. Why? Because who can beat Brahma? Brahma is power is so vast. His body is made of intelligence that no one can beat him in terms of knowledge, in terms of intelligence, in terms of know-how, in terms of acumen. He has built the universe. So everyone will be befooled by the action of Brahma. They are so powerful. Unless you are Krishna conscious. See, this is how he answers. And then 14, he pushes it, sorry, 13, is basically telling him, this is the power of Maya. This is the power. No one can escape, including me, my dear boy, my dear Narad, including me. No one can escape. She bewilders everyone. So as if to say, of course I'm not God. You are into Maya, I'm also into Maya. One time a devotee told Prabhupada, oh, you know, most of the time I'm into Maya. Prabhupada looked at him, he said, you are always in Maya. Not most of the time. You are always in Maya. So this word here, Vilajamanaya, means ashamed. It will come again. 2747. See, I found it here. Maya pareti abhimuke cha vila jamana. So that, why does it defeat Mayavadisms? Do you know? It defeats Mayavadisms. That's my question, actually. Why does it defeat 13 defeats Mayavadism. Villa Jamanaya. Again, Villa Jamanaya in 2747. Why? This is a very powerful verse. We can discuss a long time if we want. Why does it defeat Mayavadisms? It defeats entirely Mayavadisms. Because the very fact that you are in Maya, it proves that God exists, because God is not in Maya. So the very fact that you are in Maya means Maya prevents you from accessing God. Because God, if he exists, cannot be in Maya. You follow? God, if God exists, if God exists in Maya, we're not interested in such a God. Okay? So if we accept that God exists, then he should be not in Maya. That's okay. That's understood. So then, if you are in Maya, no wonder you cannot access God, because God is not in Maya. So then you listen to their school. Their school is Mayavadism. Mayavad means the school, the Vad, the path of Maya. So as soon as you distinguish, as soon as you conceive of a path separate from God, you are in Maya. This is Mayavad. This is the Mayavad means they have separated. They're trying to separate something from God. This is Maya. They will say, oh, God has put himself in illusion. He becomes like a flea on the rat. So this is how to defeat Mayavadism. Even mainstream religion today, even monotheistic mainstream religion today, they teach this concept very subtly, that God is just some kind of a concept that helps us to become good. It's a concept. But they have no clue. They're not even interested to know who is God. It's a concept that helps mankind to grow. Otherwise, what is the proof that they don't accept God? Because they're not servant of God. If they were servant of God, they will follow God. So Legion Dharmam to Sashang Bhagavat Panitam. And even they don't follow Jesus Christ, thou shalt not kill. So why the hell they eat meat? So they're saying God, 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 but they are very far from being God's servants. So their religion is into Maya. This is Mayic religion. They may say, okay, we are all part and parcel of God. Yes, but will you accept that you are God's servant? That's a different story. If they say, yes, I'm a God's servant, so are you doing his work? Are you helping Mahaprabhu? What do you eat? Marobi, Rakobi, Yo Echa Tohara. Nityadas Prati Tuya Adhikara. You know that verse? It's back to Thakur.
No, I don't know, Prabhu.
This is Dasos me. He's saying, slay me, protect me, whatever you, I don't care. You're the master. Whatever. But make sure that when I'm a mosquito, I'm okay. Even mosquito, I'm okay. But in the Krishna's house, the devotee's house, sorry.
Hmm.
So this is, Dasos me. So this verse is very, very important. 2:5:13. It's I and mine, basically. And as soon as you think it's yours, it's Maya. You could say it doesn't mean you become nonsensical. No. That is why Prabhupada said, Vivekananda and Ramakrishna have sent Bengal to hell. Why did he say that?
Because
Jai Prabhu, I didn't see you.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Yeah, because they have preached Mayavad philosophy in personalis in whole Bengal, and also encouraged demigod worship of Kali, like killing goats, sacrificing goats.
Yeah. So we shouldn't say, it's not because if you allocate something to you, that's Maya. This is my car. But should we fall into the other extreme? No. To hell with my car. Let it rot on the parking lot. No. What is the Vaishnav middle line? Middle line is, no, I'm the caretaker of that car. So I've got this car. Let me use it properly. And I have to change the oil and stuff and put the air and tire. And at times, I have to make sure it runs properly because I'm going to temple. I go to work. It's Krishna's car and I'm just the caretaker. So that's the proper understanding. So in other words, we have to minimize those things which we think are ours. If we are too attached to certain things we think are ours, then we have to minimize the usage of those things. Otherwise, you use them fully for Krishna. Let's say you are fond of your car, of your van, then you use the van to carry Jagannath for Ratha Yatra, stuff like that. One time, Jaita Maharaj told a story. Does the pure devotee know everything, Srila Prabhupada? Prabhupada said no, but he knows everything about preaching. So then Jaita Maharaj asked, oh, is it an offensive question? Srila Prabhupada said, no, but you're in ignorance. So here we can see, Narad, let me recap because Prabhu just came. Narad had questioned his father, who is his guru, by the way. And of course, prior to that, Shukadev is repeating this Brahman Narad Samvad for the sake of his own disciple, Maharaj Parikshit, and who himself had asked also very lofty questions in the beginning of the 4th chapter. So, are you the creator, my dear father? No, we have a good Brahma. We have a Mahajan Brahma. We have an ascending Brahma. So Brahma didn't let the doubt linger whatsoever. Immediately he nipped it in the bud. No, I'm not God. There's no pretense in his consciousness. Are we free? No. It reminds me of a story Buddhism told us, Prabhu, in Hong Kong. Prabhupada was in Hong Kong. And Guru Maharaji, he was very famous. Guru Maharaji. So one day, one reporter, he asked Srila Prabhupada, he was trying to corner Srila Prabhupada. What do you think of him, Swamiji, of Guru Maharaji? Then Prabhupada was avoiding, no, leave me alone, I'm okay. Reporter was insistent. What do you think of Guru Maharaji? No, Srila Prabhupada. Please don't ask such questions. The reporter wanted to make a fool of himself. and he insisted like hell. Prabhupada immediately at some point he exploded. He said, "He's a dog." in publicly. He's a dog. He's a cheater. But Krishna is the biggest cheater. Krishna will cheat him. That was reported on TV and stuff. And reporter was ecstatic because he had his story, he had his scoop, and next day it was all over the newspaper in Hong Kong. So the followers, they came. The followers, they came to Srila Prabhupada. You know, the followers of Guru Maharaj, they were nonplussed. And Prabhupada very softly and transcendently convinced them without yelling. They became devotees. Because Guru Maharaj, he was the type of guru, he used to say, "Oh, I've got a toothache. I got to go to the dentist." I mean, the rascal that cannot even understand that if you're God, you're not supposed to go to the dentist. So Narad understood that his father is obviously meditating upon someone. Yeah, I'm trying to remember all the questions that I had written in those days and the stories. Yeah, Prabhupada, I mean, Buddhajan mentioned also the story of Lord Jesus Christ, the crucifixion. Today is Easter. Huh? Easter means he's resurrected from the grave, from the grave. But look at the absurdity. Thou shalt not kill. They killed Christ the first. Of course, you may say it's not them, it's the Jews. But the first thing they did, they killed him. Even though he proclaimed, "Thou shalt not kill." And all the followers of Jesus Christ were crucified. They were martyred, we say in English, martyrized. So this is the point. So now, I sent the questions yesterday. I'm first a bit late. I have to sort of admit, but there's a question that I wrote here: how Maya works, because 13 is a very good verse when it comes to explaining how Maya works. Anyone would like to explain that? According to your own terms and your own Vigyan, your own realization,
Okay, 15.
how Maya works. You can draw from 13, you can draw also from your own life experience.
About 15.
Yeah, it's because 13 is so deep. I mean, you can spend a long time on 13. We may not do so, but I just wanted to have some thematical approach to 13, how Maya works, because it is a verse dealing with the functioning of Maya.
Okay, for the Maya, okay. It says Maya cannot stand in front of the Lord. She stands behind the Lord, being ashamed of her position of deceiving the people. As you said, like she's ashamed of deceiving the living entities, right? And after establishing the Supreme Lord's position superior to himself, and thus clarifying the doubts of Narada, Brahma now answers Narada's questions. So Maya is only like she's there, but she's ashamed.
Yeah, we discussed about this ashamed part before Prabhu came. So I'm going to send you, unless you want to say something, Prabhu Moshika?
Yes, Maya is empowered by Krishna himself to delude the living entities here.
Yes.
And especially like when we read the biggest Maya, when we say that his incomplete Maya means he sees himself to be God.
Yeah, the last nail of Maya.
Yeah, lost near Maya. And she keeps bewildering us with many falsities that we think that it's realities.
Yeah. I'm going to share with you a document right now. It's Jiva Goswami. Yeah? So there's someone yelling somewhere behind. Huh?
Oh, I need my.
So this is
Emotion.
a very powerful document. You can open it now. I sent it to you already. This I find it
Okay.
extremely well written. Of course, it's Jiva Goswami. Yeah. How can
Oh,
you?
you sent it on WhatsApp, right?
No, on your email. So I just want, we can share it. We can take time at reading it. It's only 1 or 2 pages. Listen to that. This is the explanation of Jiva Goswami on 2513, how Maya works. As soon as you can access to it on your email, you can also read out. Furthermore, not only the Jiva consists of pure spiritual consciousness, we know, as Sango Yeyam Purusha, the Jiva is always pure. Whether you are in the body of a porcupine, a giraffe, doesn't matter. The Jiva is pure, full stop. But this is the point of Jiva Goswami, and which is also there in Ramanuj. The Jiva himself, within the soul, there is pure knowledge. He's got Sat Chit Anand, right? So his consciousness is always pure. Just like, and Jiva Goswami gives the example of the light. Light by itself illumines. What is light? It's illumination. But the light has the capacity to illuminate itself. Because of the light, you can see the light and other things around you. Around the light, sorry. So the point of Jiva Goswami, the Jiva possesses consciousness in and of itself. The soul, irrespective of the body that he occupies, that is, he has embodied in, the soul has consciousness independently of the consciousness that's going to partake of the particular body is in. You follow? So what I'm trying to say is, it's called Ka-Tridve and Bok-Tridve. Let's say you are a spirit soul. You enter the body of a giraffe. The consciousness of the soul, which has nothing to do with the body of the giraffe, is going to pervade the body of the giraffe. The body of the giraffe is dead, doesn't exist, it's dead. It's dead matter, just like a computer is dead. So now the consciousness pertaining to the soul, which has nothing to do with the giraffe, is going to pervade the subtle body of the giraffe. And because the giraffe, the subtle body of the giraffe and the gross body of the giraffe is extremely primitive, then you're going to relate, you, the spirit soul, having a pure consciousness, your consciousness is going to be restricted to the consciousness of a giraffe. You follow? But your consciousness in and of itself is totally pure, transcendental. But now, because your consciousness is exerting itself via the medium of the body of a giraffe, it's restricted to the confinements, the restraint of a giraffe. You follow? So this is the point of Jiva Goswami. Did you guys open this document?
Yeah, I just opened it.
So you
So
can see
what
I'm reading
Prabhu,
that.
what does text 32.2 mean? What text is it from?
It's called, we are discussing 2513 on the Jiva Goswami.
Okay.
Did you get it, Moshe?
Yeah.
Prabhu?
Where you sent it, Prabhu? In
I sent it to you on your mail, huh?
okay, let me check.
So then we carry on. Quoting 175, Yaya Samohito Jiv. Manute, we consider, this is the problem, we consider that we are deluded by Maya. We have admitted that, which is not true. Prabhupada explained in Tokyo in 72, we cannot be in Maya. We cannot be. Because Maya means that which is not. How can you be not? How can you be outside of Krishna? It's just like you are an amoeba in your stomach. If you start telling another amoeba in your stomach, oh, we have nothing to do with this fool. You are residing in my stomach. You are part of me. So as soon as you entertain the conception that you can enjoy separately from Krishna, this is Maya. But Maya doesn't exist. It cannot be unless Krishna, Shukadev explained in 291 Bhagavatam, unless you are facilitated by Krishna, you cannot be in Maya by yourself. Because you belong to Krishna. So Krishna has to help you to fall into Maya. And how does he do that? Shukadev gives a beautiful example. Just like if you see yourself being beheaded in a dream, how can you see yourself being beheaded in a dream? Because you need to have a head to see yourself being beheaded. You follow? So it has no reality. It has no reality. As soon as you entertain something which is outside the scope of Krishna consciousness, it has no reality. It doesn't exist. Nasate vidyate bhava, nabhave vidyate sataha. Whatever changes is asat. It has no reality. It's a very deep topic. In the same way, the jiva has nothing to do with the complexities of material nature. We are spirit soul, full stop. But what is the problem? You look at the sheet, 515, and dadate, katsashit papam. This is the verse. We are covered by avidya, agyan tamaha. We are covered by this. And we consider ourselves to be a product of material nature, a giraffe. But it has no, it's madness. It has no reality. It has no reality. And then Jiva Goswami is very technical, of course. What does he say? He's quoting the Mayavadis. This is the philosophy of the Mayavadis here. Try to understand, because if you understand their philosophy, you can defeat it. They say, oh, the jiva is only an upadi. Upadi means designation. It's an upadi of Brahman. So once, what is liberation, my dear friend, according to the Mayavadis? You eliminate this upadi. If you eliminate this upadi, then you become Brahman. And Jiva Goswami, what does he do? He defeats that predicate by saying, by quoting 175. Yaya Samuhita Jiv Atmanan Trigunatmakam. No, my dear friend, it is wrong. Maya alone is responsible for deluding the Jiv. The Lord remains uninvolved. That is why, and this is the point of
I was making as well as Puna Chandra, back to 513. She's ashamed. Maya is ashamed. And what is the proof of this material world? We talk nonsense, according to I and mine. You can detect a fool as soon as he speaks. As soon as he starts telling, this is my wife, this is my car, then you can tell he's a fool. She's ashamed of herself because she's bewildering the people. This is nasty on her part. And she's doing it in the proximity of Krishna. She knows Krishna loves us, but still she's doing it because she has been ordered by Krishna. It doesn't please, Jiva Goswami makes the point, it doesn't please Krishna. But she also, as we know, she has the job, it's quite an ungrateful job. She cannot bear with us because Krishna Bahirmukh Ataeva Shanta, we turn our back. Krishna Bahirmukh, we turn our back to Krishna. So this she cannot tolerate. So even though she's so ashamed of herself, still she's doing the job as a very dutiful servant. Why did we turn our back? Because Muyanti Yatsurayaha Agyan Tamaha. We, due to Avidya Shakti, we turn, or there's 5 types of Avidya pertaining to Atma Tattva. We don't even know ourselves. We don't even know Prakriti. We don't even know God. Different types of Ahankara are being laid over the Jeev. Anadi Avidya. This Avidya is coming from time immemorial. You cannot trace it back. Bhaktivinoda Thakur explained you cannot put a hand on the time you entered the creation. He says you are guilty before entering even. How can you trace it back? So this is a beautiful section because it explains how Maya works. And of course, he's quoting 11:237. Bayam vitiya binivishita sasyat ishadapetasya viparya smritihi. We have become absorbed in something which is apparently different from Krishna, which is not possible. How can you absorb yourself in something which is apparently different from Krishna? Is there anything to start with different from Krishna? No. So we have absorbed ourselves in something which is apparently different from Krishna. This is the beginning of Maya. And what is the outcome of that? Viparya smritihi. Viparya means opposite. It reverses your constitutional position. You are Krishnadas, Krishnadasi. You become Krishna. No, I'm not Krishnadas, I'm God. Or even worse, I'm God's competitor. It reverses your, at least on paper, it reverses your constitutional position. You start acting opposite to your constitutional position. And then bayam, fear, anusmriti, loss of memory, you become a giraffe. And you become a dog and you start barking like a bloody dog. You become a cat. You become a woman, you start acting like a woman. You become a man, you become a demigod. This is madness. Anyway, this is a beautiful section of Jiva Goswami. Are you there with me? Or?
Yes.
Did you find it, Moshika Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu, yes.
So you can read the next part. I really love this this quote of Jiva Goswami.
See, the living entity is distinct from the Lord. Go ahead.
Okay, second. So, yeah,
Can you see?
yeah, the living entity is distinct from the Lord. In this text, oh,
You have
Sure.
time to find it.
Swami.
it's moved. Just a second. In this text, Srila Jiva Goswami shows how service to the Lord is a process of self-realization, that is abhideya, and how eternal love of God is a goal, prayojan. Since love of God is eternal, the Supreme Lord and the living entities must be eternally distinct, because wherever there is service or love, the server and the served, or the lover and the beloved, must be separate individuals. According to the Mayavad impersonalist, this distinction of individual selves exists only in the condition Vyavaharika stage. In the liberated Paramartika stage, all such distinctions dissolve because on that level Brahman alone exists. Impersonalists insist that since Brahman and the living being are absolutely one and the same, there can be no distinction of identities in the reality of Brahman. The Mayavadis goes on to say that when Brahman contacts Maya, Maya acts as its upadhi, and Brahman is then known as Ishvara, God, and the Jivas. Apart from these appearances arising from Brahman's proximity to Maya, neither Ishvara nor the Jiva exist. Concerning the Jivas, featureless Brahman enters into delusion and displays the Jiva masquerade forms and personalities, birth after birth, and all for no reason other than Brahman's adulteration by Maya. And this same deluded Brahman will be redeemed when he simply gives up his false designations on the strength of acquired knowledge of Brahman. All this goes counter to what Vyasdev actually saw in his trance, Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 7, verse 4. He saw that the Jivas are intrinsically eternal spiritual entities, separate individuals in their own right. He further saw that Maya overcomes only the Jivas, not Brahman, Ishvara, the personality of Godhead. Indeed, he saw that Maya, far from overcoming the Supreme Lord, could not even bear to face him. He also saw that God himself is not directly involved with deluding the Jivas. In sum, Vyasdev realized that the Lord, the Jivas, and Maya are all eternal, and that the Lord supports the other two.
Okay, you want to explain, Prabhu?
Okay.
This is Jiva Goswami. He's the greatest exponent in the history of mankind, past, present, future. Prabhupada explained, there will be no one matching Jiva Goswami in the history of creation. After Mahaprabhu is the greatest. So there's no question. Jiva Goswami is the last word. He can, if you read the sixth Sandarbha, he has grinded into powder Mayavadisms. They are just crying bitterly tears of blood. They are on their falls crying tears of blood with Jiva Goswami. There was so much, even though they were sheer, very stark and sheer, absolute, radical Mayavadisms, they were totally enthralled by Jiva Goswami.
They understood only this is the book we have to defeat. We have understood the beauty of Bhagavatam. They thought they had understood. And some of them even dare to comment on Srimad Bhagavatam. Because they were totally mesmerized by the Satsandarbha. Even the Mayavadis. So please explain, Prabhu.
Yeah, so here Jiva Goswami is trying to establish that the Jiva is distinct from the Lord. He's giving the example of the server and the served,
Yes.
lover and beloved. They must be separate individuals. They cannot be one. And so, unless there is server and served, then there is love. Otherwise, it won't happen like this. And also, for in the liberated stage, like he's saying, when such distinction dissolve, distinction of like being conditioned, so then you see the real form of the jiva, that is he's Brahman, spiritual. Hello. And the Lord also is Brahman, spiritual.
See,
So,
what it does here, it does that very often, Jiva Goswami. It distinguishes two types of Brahman. That's what they say, which is not true, but they going to distinguish two types of Brahman. They're going to say on the lower level of Brahman, which is called Vyavaharika, it's allowed to make distinction. Yes, you are a Jiv. Yes, Krishna exists. Yes, you can chant Hare Krishna. They even admit Bhakti Yoga as a process. They will say, yes, my dear friend, you need that because you are on a very neophyte level. It's called Vyavaharika, or it's called Sagun Brahman. That is their own speculation, they know, but you have to understand that they're very tricky, convoluted system of approach. So they are ready to admit a lower form of Brahman, which they call Vyavaharika, or Sagun Brahman. And within that Brahman, they accept the existence of everyone that you want. Yes, Jiv, Krishna, Bhakti, the trees, so many types of trees out there through your window. But you will see, my dear friend, once you advance spiritually, once you come to your real only level, which is called Paramartika, which is the Nirgun Brahman, you will see that all those distinctions that you before was entertaining will dissolve. And elsewhere, Jiva Goswami explained the analogy of the cord, the rope, and the snake. And they will say, oh, because you have misperceived the rope to be a snake, you become afraid, thinking it's a snake. But because of your misperception, it's going to engender in you all types of emotions like fear, anxiety, running for your life. But these are all due to misperception of the given object. So in the same way, my dear friends, because now you are on a very low level, you are misperceiving this world as having a variety. You are on the level of Sagun Brahman. So it is okay. You can even practice whatever you want, but you have to regain your original nature of Aham Brahmasmi. You have to come to Paramartika, Nirgun Brahman. And then you will realize that everything is one. You are one with Brahman, you are one with Krishna. There is no distinction of identities within the reality of Brahman. And of course, they're going to carry on with their convoluted, speculated system by saying, when Brahman contacts Maya, then Maya becomes an Upadi. Upadi means designation. And then this Brahman is known as Ishvar, God. Elsewhere, Jiva Goswami explained very well. They're saying when Ahankar contacts Maya, Mahatattva, it creates the mode of goodness, which is true, by the way. And they will say, from that mode of goodness, Krishna comes. Krishna is coming from Mahatattva contacted by the mode of goodness. Can you imagine? Which is extremely, extremely offensive. And they will say when Mahatattva is contacted by the mode of ignorance, it generates the jiva. So Jiva Goswami carries on to say in this paper that I sent you, apart from these appearances arising from Brahman's proximity to Maya, neither Ishvar nor the jivas exist. We are still explaining their so-called philosophy. Concerning the jivas, featureless Brahman enters into delusion and displays the jivas' masquerade forms and personalities birth after birth. And all for no reason other than Brahman's adulteration by Maya. See, this is their point of contention. They cannot accept that Brahma cannot be adulterated. Because as soon as you admit that Brahman is adulterated, it means Brahma becomes corrupted, perverted. But little do they understand that actually Brahman, Krishna, is not in contact. What is in contact is what? The energies. So the energies transform. Shakti, Shaktamatayo, Abheda, the energies transform and account for the variety of this world. But he, Krishna, doesn't transform when the energies transform. This they cannot understand. You follow? So they have to come up with such a convoluted philosophy, which is untenable. And then they conclude by saying, this same deluded Brahman will be redeemed. So can you imagine they are admitting Brahman can be deluded? How can Brahman be under Maya? So that's why they come up with two types of Brahman, Vyavaharika and Paramaarthika, Sagun and Nirgun Brahman. So they're saying this same deluded Brahman will be redeemed when he simply gives up his four designations. This is convoluted philosophy. And then at the end, just like you read out the book, Vyasadeva defeats all this by 175. We know the verse. Maya overcomes the jiva, but Maya cannot overcome Brahman. Maya cannot overcome Krishna. Maya, that is why Maya is so much ashamed of herself. But she cannot tolerate that the jiva is reluctant to Krishna. That's why she puts him under his grip, under her grip. Okay, we'll stop here for this verse. It was a long walk for this verse.
Prabhu, it was very long, and you know what? Is there any way you can send us some notes on that? Because it is so many information there, but it was so long, and it's good you
I
were
sent you
reading
the
it.
document. I sent you the document. See.
Yeah, but you said more than that, right?
Yeah. But see, I just want to show you a little glimpse of Jiva Goswami. Jiva Goswami is you cannot even say genius. It's Maha genius. The Mayavadis used to shed tears on reading his book. They even the Rupa Goswami, they used to give the books to Jiva Goswami for edition. So, I mean, this is the last word. Jiva Goswami, just on one verse, he has written a book on Ete Chamchakila Krishna Pushna Krishna Bhagavan Swayam. Just one verse, he has written a whole book. That's why if we start to enter into Jiva Goswami, it's going to take 50 years. I'm
Yeah,
sure-
and there's so much to know about this Maya, right?
Oh, as I told you, if you want to get to know about the last word, the Gaudiya Siddhant, this is Jiva Goswami.
Okay.
Yeah, Bhagavatam, and then you Sat Sandarbha. Sat means 6. This is the final call. This is the final call. Anyone who wants to find fault with Bhagavatam, let them read the Sat Sandarbha. At the end of the 6th Sandarbha, they will be on their knee praying for getting to know Jiva Goswami. This is the level of Jiva Goswami. Is the greatest exponent ever on Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy. Okay, let's carry on. Dravyam karmacha kalascha sababu jiva evacha vasudevat paro brahmanacha nirtotsti tadvataha.
Okay, Prabhu, you want to read or should I read?
No, you read Mataji, you read Mataji.
Okay, the 5 elementary ingredients of creation, the interaction thereof set up by the eternal time, and the institution or nature of the individual living beings are all differentiated parts and parcels of the personality of Godhead Vasudeva, and in truth, there is no other value in them. So here on we are on 14th, right?
Yeah, I'm reopening the file so can Prabhu understand he came a bit late today. Remember,
so-
Prabhu, we are dealing with the questions that appear in 252 of Leonard. You can refer yourself to 252.
252.
And we are dealing with the very, very, very first one of 252. Which, by the way, those questions echo with the same questions that Parikshit put forward to his guru in beginning of the 4th chapter. So what does Shukadev do? He just tells about Brahma Narad Samvad, which is that interaction between Brahma and his son. To answer, Parikshit is going to quote another story, which is oftentimes the pattern in Bhagavatam. So if you look at 252, then Yat Rupam, can you see? Yat Rupam, everyone can see? Yat
Yeah.
Rupam, Yat Rupam 252, the first word, Yat Rupam, the symptoms. My dear father, tell me about Yat Rupam. What are the 5 symptoms you should know? Because this is important. These are the 5 symptoms. What are the 5 symptoms? They are written here. Can you read on the screen? Jiv, Dravya, Kal, Karma, Sabha.
No, we cannot read, it's too small.
Oh, okay, sorry. It's for me, it's huge. I don't know why. Okay, anyway, if you go back to 2540, let's discuss. There's 5 components in 14. Dravyam. So what is Dravyam? Please explain.
Okay. Dravyam. Dravyam is the ingredients. Earth, water, fire, air, and sky.
Is a Pancha Mahabhuta.
Yeah, Panchamahabhut. Very good.
Yeah.
But let's tell me further, because this is Bhagavatam, huh? So as you know, it goes deep. Huh? Try to tell me whatever you know. Because now we are entering Visarga. Be careful. Huh? We have to go deeper than that, obviously. And this is second canto, which is the most complicated canto, but it's quite fun also. So let's discuss about Yat Rupam. So within Yat Rupam, there's 5. Dravyam. Let's discuss about Dravyam. This is the first one. Whatever you want to say, you can speak. And you can draw from the purport also. It's a very beautiful purport. When we say Dravyam, what do we mean actually? Panchamahabhut. So try to explain further. In other words, I mean, I can say, but I don't want to steal the show all the time. That's why, when you study, I'm telling you, it's not only you study superficially. Oh, okay, I browse over the purport in 5 seconds and a half. No. I'm telling you, when I used to study with Buddhajan, we had 4 hours of class a day, I remember.
Prabhu, I have one question.
Yes.
In the purport, it said that the interaction of the above gross and subtle ingredients as set up by eternal time is an offshoot of internal potency. So these elements are material. So how can it be an offshoot of internal potency?
The living entity who enjoys the interaction of the above gross and subtle elements. Yeah. So yeah, Prabhupada doesn't go into details here. But we know 7.5 is quoted, Jivabhuta Mahabaho Yayedam Dayate Jagat. So we are Jivabhut. To be precise, we are Jivabhut. Jivabhut means Jiv Shakti. So Bhakti Thakur, Jiva Goswami, I told you many times, even what is his name? That great Sri Vaishnav. He has spoken in Padma Puran, Uttaranakand. He's saying Jamatrimuni, yes. Jamatrimuni, Jiva Goswami, Bhakti Thakur, they're saying that point. Many times I mentioned, we are Jiva Bhuta, Mahabaho. So we're coming from Tatashta, and we're coming from this Jiv Shakti. So this Jiv Shakti, Bhaktivinoda Thakur explained in this what is it called, that book?
Jiva Dharma.
Jiva Dharma, thank you, Prabhu. He calls it Apurna Shakti. It's very interesting. He's the only one who used that term actually. So Apurna is the contrary of Purna. Om Purna, Purnamidam. That's Purna, but he calls it Apurna Shakti, which is a region of Tatashtan, and which is not complete. Why? Because we're coming from that ever-going casting within Pradhan. We are being cast in the halo thrown by Mahavishnu on the Pradhan. And we miss the point, even though we remain in that Pradhan, which later transformed into Mahatattva for eons of times. Again, we are being retracted. So how many times we have been cast into the halo? So Krishna says very clearly, 3 times in the Gita, Yagadvana Nivartante. Once you go back, you don't come back. Yes. And
we could say, well, we are not Nitya Siddha Parikar like Uddhav or Nanda Maharaj or Arjun or Kunti. Yes, but we can become Sadhana Siddha. And once we become Sadhana Siddha, we partake of the quality of the Vishnu Parikar. And then those Vishnu Parikar, they are called Ragatmika Bhakta. Then we meditate on them, we end up going to Bhomalila, and due to their contact, then only we are redeemed in the spiritual world, certainly in Golok. So it doesn't mean because we are coming from Jivabhuta Mahabaho, we are Jiv Shakti, that we are doomed. No, we can also go back. So that's why it says offshoot. We are an offshoot, means we are a byproduct. But I really like this point because we are a byproduct. But to be precise, we're coming from that region which is called Apurna Shakti or Jiv Shakti. For many years, people believe, even in ISKCON, I noticed that, oh yes, we are not Nitya Siddha, but we partake of the same category. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur refuses that. Jiva Goswami refuses that. Jamit Chamuni refuses that. He said, no. He says, the Nitya Siddha Parikar under the purview of Lord Balaram himself. They are called, they are coming from Shiv Shakti. Yes, definitely. But as far as we are concerned, because we are Nitya Badhav, since time immemorial, we are under the care, for the time being at least, of Mahavishnu. And we are being cast and cast again in this creation, in the Pradhan. But the good news is, again, I'm repeating myself, you can go back by dint of sadhana, by dint of chanting Hare Krishna, Bhagavatam, Navanga Bhakti, good association, visiting the Dham, Lilastan, Gangasnan. So we are not doomed. And once you go back, they're not going to say, oh, he was a regular Jiv, this one was a Nitya Siddha. No, the story is over. The story is over. The nightmare is over. You are reveling in pastimes of love with Krishna. It doesn't matter who you were. Doesn't matter. The story, the nightmare is over. So to go back to 2514, we're talking about Dravyam here. So what happened is Dravyam Pancha Mahabhut. It's called also Upadan. Vishwanath explained that the elements, we can see that, I don't know if you remember in 131, the 16 elements, Sudasha, of creation, there's 16 elements. Within the 16, you find the Dravyam. They're called the Pancha Mahabhut, the substance of matter, we could say, Upadan. That's one. Now, let's go back to number 2. First is Dravyam. What is number 2? If we go clockwise, karma. You know karma. Karma is the interaction. Like, for instance, give me a verse in the Gita that explains the interaction. Prabhupada is quoting 7475. I can think of other verses also. If you know any verse in the Gita that explains the interaction of the Jiv with the elements, 13.6, 13.7 also. Mahabhutani, Ahankaro. See, it says here, the 5 great elements, same story, it's called Dravyam, false ego, intelligence, the unmanifested, the 10 senses, the mind, the 5 sense objects, desire, hatred, happiness, distress, the aggregate, the life symptoms, conviction. All these are considered in summary to be the field of activities and its interactions. So we are interacting with those elements. And because of that, we have a subtle body, linga shari, mind, intelligence, ego. Even though we have nothing to do with all these things. Just like your boy, your daughter became in Australia a murderer. She's going to be hanged. He's going to be killed. There's nothing to do with you. You live in Canada. But because you identify out of love with your daughter or boy, you cannot sleep at night. You follow? You cannot sleep. Even though you're not going to die, she's going to die. So in the same way, we cannot sleep at night because of the identification of the body, because of the trauma we're going through in our mind, for instance. The false ego. She's mine. He is mine. But we have nothing to do. So the interactions is there. It's mentioned in 13.6, 13.7. Next, Kal. What is Kal?
Time.
Yeah.
Eternal time.
So let's discuss about Kal a little bit, whatever you want to say.
Carl likes for the duration of the creation.
Yeah.
Mm.
And Kal also agitates the gunas. This is very important. I always say to my students, Kal is the engine of the car. If you consider the car, the vehicle to be the universe, then the engine, a vehicle needs an engine. The engine is Kal. It agitates the gunas. Next, another ingredient within
Nature.
I would say Svabhav.
Yeah.
And Svabhav is very important. What is Svabhav? That's a very important word.
So our nature.
This Svabhav is a very important word. It's mentioned in the third canto. You will see when we are thrown in the glands, see Mahavishnu is casting us within his glands on Pradhan. That halo is Shambhu. Shiv. That's Shambhu means the original Shiv, is the Sadashiv. This is Shambhu. He has his own planet in Vaikuntha. So within the glands, there's many things, many things. You think it's just an empty shell? No, this glands is loaded. First, there is Chitkana. The Chitkana is the Kana means particle. The Chit, so it's a particle. That's why we discussed before. Some people say Chit Shakti. They're not wrong. But within Chit Shakti, there is that region which is called Apurna Shakti. We're coming from that, Tatashta, marginal, just on the border. So anyway, we're not going to start again this discussion. So Chitkana means the particle of the Jiv, the Chitkana. This is the Jiv in his essence, he has no body. He's just the pure Jiv, the Chitkana, the particle of Chit, particle of the Jiv Shakti. Then the Svabhav, don't forget. Last time you entered into the abdomen during Nirodha, the retractation of the energies, when you entered the abdomen of Mahavishnu in the previous creation, you had a particular Svabhav. Svabhav means what is the way you like to enjoy material nature. It varies from one to the next. Why do you think I hate Brussels sprouts? I don't like Brussels sprouts. Some people love it. That is Svabhav. You follow? Why this one is liking beets and This one, no, I like carrots. So svabhav means our particular inherent nature within matter. Svabhav is the cause of the changes in the gunas. Why we are doing this, and all of a sudden, we being spurred by the mind, we want to do something else. That's going to change the different interactions of the modes upon us. That's called the svabhav. We have a particular way of liking things, of enjoying, of behaving within matter. This is called the svabhav, the inherent nature of the jiva within matter. So when we are cast in the glands, the chitkana and the svabhav are going to enter pradhan. Number 3, the kala self, the kala shakti, the time energy, the temporal time is being also cast in the glands. Now, by the interaction of the time and our propensity to enjoy, we have a particular propensity to enjoy. It's called Purusha Abhiman. That's going to transform pradhan into Mahatattva. Yeah. So now let's finish off. Then we'll stop because I'm a little late aujourd'hui. Okay, so what is the next one? We're missing one, I think. We covered everything? The jiva, kala? Yeah, I think we covered everything. I think we forgot the jivas. No, we forgot the jiva. So all these components are separated from Krishna. They exist apart from Krishna. Except the jiva. The jiva is part and parcel of Krishna. All the other 4 are basically products of Maya. Or I would say effects of Maya. But Maya and the jiva are energies of the Lord. Okay, we'll stop here for today. I think we had enough.
Otherwise, how was your trip, Prabhu, Mayapur?
Oh, it was wonderful. My intention is to reset all there. I lived 10 years long back. It was long back. 97 up to 2007. And I've had enough of the West. I never really liked the West, but now I definitely, my plea is to go back. Lord Mahaprabhu and Panchatattva, I've been praying like anything to them. Of course, I'm a little interested also. I want to bring my boy there to make sure he benefits himself. It's not easy because my wife doesn't see eye to eyes on this one. So it's not gonna be easy. But personally, I'm totally convinced this is the best place. What to speak of a young child? This is the best place by far for a young child. Even though it's austere, as you know, it's tapabhumi, it can become very hard. I mean, there's always hot and cold, so you can get easily a flu, but after some time you get used to it, you know. Compared to the boons which are at your fingertips, it's a tiny price to pay. I mean, come on, Gangastan and Panchatattva Darshan, and everything is pretty transformed.
You have lots of places there. Lots of places.
It's booming. I mean, in terms of it's sprawling all over. I spoke to Gopal, my good friend. He's born there. He's 45 now. He told me he's going to join Rajapur. You know Rajapur is about a good distance, but he told me no problem. TOVP is opening in a couple of years. I mean, it's going to sprawl all the way to Rajapur, even further. Prabhupada wants half a lakh devotees, he said. I want to see half a lakh devotees in this project. So can you imagine half a lakh?
What is Alpha Lab?
Huh?
I don't understand the meaning of
Half
Alpha Lab.
lakh means 100,000.
Okay. Yeah.
He wants to see half a lakh of devotees in 50,000.
Mm.
So, of course, you know, there's always Mayapur means also darkness. Huh? Unfortunately, there's also some, I would say, it's called deceitfulness is there. You know, they're going to jack up the prices like hell because it's festival time, and they're thinking all the videshis are loaded to the max with money, which is totally. So,
Yeah.
but they will have to be accountable to Mahaprabhu. You know,
Mm.
you can make a little
Because
profit.
this mentality, business mentality with devotees, that's why Ganga on and off, she comes and straight away everything, wiped out everything, and they restart everything.
Yeah. No, but I mean, you know, it's a fact that there is a lot of ripoff and there. You have to be careful. If you buy land, if you buy anything that you buy, there's some good people, there's some bad people also.
Yeah.
Even in the garb of devotees.
Mm.
So, but I would say the best shot is to be very humble and to have a simple dwelling and. But by far, I would still consider and encourage everyone to settle there. I mean, unless they have a very strong service here, but you know, because the West is falling apart at the very fabric, you know.
Yeah.
Here in France, I can see it's shaking very badly. And the debt of France is 3 trillion euros, probably. You understand?
Oh.
3 trillion. So let me tell you in 3 trillion means 3,000 billion. You follow?
Wow.
3,000 billion of euros. 1 billion is 1,000 million. Here we're talking about 3,000 billion.
Wow.
Euros debt. Is the practically the most indebted country on the planet. Everything can tip over in half a second. And this is one country. You think the rest of Europe is better? It's no.
No.
So we are